Hi everyone, welcome to the Bream Fishing Project. Welcome to the first video episode of the show. This has been a long time coming. I'm super excited to bring this one to you. We're here to talk about the launch of the ProLure shrimp, the hybrid shrimp. I've got Greg Reid, who I've done a recording with. Greg Reid, he has been a guide, he has been a lure designer, and he's done everything in between. He's an absolutely fantastic speaker, and it was my pleasure to talk to Greg. Anyway, let's roll the intros and we will get straight into it. Here we go.
Welcome to the Bream Fishing Project. This is where you need to be every Tuesday to find out all the latest tips and tricks to help you target bream on lures. You'll get to hear from some of Australia's elite bream competition anglers and see how they were able to achieve their results in competitions around the country. Now, here is your host, the 2019 Hobie Kayak Fishing World Champion, Andrew Deeth.
So with me face to face, I have the one and only Greg Reid from ProLure. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
We got a lot to talk about tonight.
It's just two blokes having a yarn about fishing.
Mate.
Come on for hours.
All right. Mate, there's a lot of things going on at ProLure, and there has been for a couple of years. The first and foremost reason for our chat tonight is to introduce a new product. But actually, what I want to do first is circle back to your initial prawn, the soft prawn. And I haven't named it properly there, so you can fill me in on that. Just tell us about that.
First of all, I've got to say, I wish Heath could be here tonight. He's got other commitments. You know, we're all busy in life. He's really the genius in terms of the design. And I don't say that lightly. He's a genius when it comes to this design aspect and the creative side of it. Tell us about the prawn, the soft prawn.
It's clone prawn.
We were just chatting off air before. I think that whole thing started about 6 years ago.
Right.
I went to Heath and I was using another prawn at the time because you got to have a prawn in your kit.
Mm.
I just said to him, mate, we've got to have a prawn. Like everything eats a prawn. I don't want to be using other prawns when we can do one. We can do a good prawn. Everything in the estuary eats prawn, and there's been good, successful prawns over time. Most of the stuff starts with us, or with ProLure as it starts out of a necessity because what we're trying to do is create tools, and hence by anglers for anglers. You know, we're just trying to create tools that we need to do the job.
Mm.
That's where it starts, and then it goes to a little sketch, and then he just weaves his magic with it.
Yeah. With the clone prawn itself, I think you'd have to say it is arguably the most realistic prawn on the market. I don't think there's anything that is as realistic or perfect as that.
We clone one.
Exactly.
Oh, it's like a prawn. Did a clone of it. That was kind of the brief.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't have anything more realistic because it is a prawn.
Yeah.
Look at it. Prawn.
Yeah, it's perfect. And that one's that great nipper color. I can't remember what the name of the color is, but it reminds me of nipper.
Green tiger, and we'll talk maybe about some of how it's made later with the insert there.
Yeah. Part of the reason why we circle back to this is off air, I asked you why you've got a really great soft plastic prawn. Why make another one? And you had an answer for that, and maybe we'll circle back to it. But that's why this conversation has started here with the clone prawn.
Yeah, it's a tool. There's advantages in having a hard prawn as well. We're seeing more of these advantages the more we use it, right? So there's a bit going on in terms of, for anyone that's not familiar, there's three sizes, 62, 92 in the middle, and the big boy, which is 120. For demonstration purposes, a lot of crew, particularly for the brim side of things and the estuary side of things, fish the 62.
Yep.
And they'll fish that either with a hidden weight, a very light jig head, or they'll kind of fish it. A lot of crew are fishing it in this way in terms of that's got a weedless hook in it. And on the weedless hook, you can see right there, it's tied on with a uni knot to the weedless, and then the treble just sticks up underneath.
Okay.
Now, the advantage of that is you can skip that across the top, and it'll fit across the top, effectively just rings the dinner bell, and then that will sink very slowly. And because all the weight's underneath, it acts like a keel.
Right.
As opposed to, once again, for demo purposes, like with your traditional jig head, You can skip that across the top, but it's going to sink like a stone. It's also going to roll over and just drop straight down. It just doesn't look natural. That's a great lure if you want to fish a bit of depth, particularly for flatting.
Yeah.
You know, traditional jig head, that's great. So these rigged, particularly the small one rigged, with a hidden weight, the sink rate's very slow, but that's very light.
Mm.
And now, aside from the fact that we just love hard bodies and all variations on hard bodies, we're just a couple of frothers that love fishing lures.
Yeah.
And we get to make them. It's just like the kid in the candy store.
Fair enough.
It's great. Let's make a prawn. Let's make a hard one because we can. But, you know, the whole ethos on this is like, I want to actually use the creations that we make that I need to do the job. And hence the new hybrid shrimp.
Yeah.
If you look at the prawn on the left, the clone prawn, the soft bait is 62 mil. This is 58, but you can see the difference in the body there.
Yeah.
It's just like a fuller profile. Even though it's a tiny lure, it's a more tasty profile. The thing here is, and you might be able to see, is the weighting. So this is 5 grams.
Yes.
There's the weighting underneath. 5 grams. So 5 grams as opposed to, I can't remember the last time I weighed one of these with a hidden weight in them, but it's probably only around about 2 to 3 grams.
Yeah.
Because of the weight, dent, and the rigidity within the lure, by the aerodynamic side of things, it'll fold up a bit when you cast. That reduces casting distance. So with something like this, you can cast that a whole lot further.
Yeah.
And then skip it across the top and then let it sink and hang on. You don't have to do anything. We retain the legs. The legs on this is the soft legs, and this is the 10 bite. Like these are made out of TPE, so they're very stretchy. So the legs on these, the clone prawn, is the key to the success on this lure is that you don't have to do anything. Right, the amount of old school bait fishers that we've converted that will simply get a clone prawn and stick an octopus hook in it with a ball sinker on the top and just chuck it in the water.
Really?
When that sits on the bottom, the legs move with the current. You don't have to do anything. We wanted to incorporate all the good things out of this, bring in the legs that articulate, but we can now cast a whole lot further. And the skipping action of that across the surface of the water is a hard body as well. When you get these out of the box, right, there's a little split ring there. So they're rigged backwards out of the box. We've got 3 different variations on how you can actually rig these as well.
Yeah.
A fleeing prawn, a prawn that's in distress will flip backwards. Prawn that's just mooching along, love of the world, he'll swim forwards.
Yeah.
But you flick this back across the surface of the water and just let it sink, and that's ringing the dinner bell. The sink rate on this is about a metre every 5 seconds.
Okay.
So that's straight out of the box, absolutely deadly. But now we've got a number of different variations on this
And
on how you can rig it.
is the sink rate a very level sink rate? How does it go?
Yes. On a tight line, it's level.
Yes. Okay.
It's a little bit head down if I just chuck it in the water.
Yeah.
But on a tight line, the legs will offer a little bit of resistance, and they're fluttering in the water. So on a tight line that's fluttering, it's just sinking nice and level.
Yes.
It's really well balanced.
On a slack line, if you open your bail arm, will that swim away from you?
There's so many variations on that. Yes, but also that depends on whether current.
Sure.
But yes, it'll swim because it'll pick the line back up again and it'll sort of articulate. Will it just free swim away? I'm sure someone can make it.
Okay. Probably.
Yeah. And look, we haven't got a huge amount of footage at distance.
Yeah.
Where someone's standing on a wall. I'm going to actually have to do some more homework on that because we've thrown around, obviously, in the development, so many different variations on how the thing's going to swim before it even gets to market.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Next thing you can do is take the forward treble off. These are decoys, number 14s. Super sticky sharp. All right. So you can take that forward treble off because a lot of the kill shots from the fish will actually come right up. But even if that fish grabs the whole prawn, it means business.
Yeah.
So the hook's going. But if you take that front treble off, the sink rate then decreases. We're looking somewhere around 6 to 8 seconds, but that'll depend on water density.
Yeah.
It slows the sink rate right down, but still maintains the balance because the weight is in here, the body of the lure, the legs articulating and slowing down the forward trajectory. Yeah. And the legs also slowing down the sink.
And with your decoy hooks, why'd you choose decoy? What was?
They're just awesome hooks.
Yeah.
Sticky sharp.
And you like the profile of the hook?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Can you see that? It's moved around. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's moved around a bit. There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reality is, if you're changing hooks, guess what? It means you're catching fish.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyone that fishes with hard should have a good set of split ring pliers.
Yes.
Yeah. Should be changing hooks regularly anyway. So that's where it kind of starts. But wait, there's more.
Very good.
The legs are interchangeable. Where are they?
Are we going to get a demonstration?
Why not? Because it is easy. They come in packs of 6, different colours, 5 different colours on the legs. So my favourite at the moment, because of the water I'm fishing, is pink nipper.
Wow.
And I do brim fish, but I also do a lot of flathead fishing as well. In all fairness, my fishing over the last 12 months has gone back to more subsistence. Like, I want to feed a fish, let's go.
Okay.
And I fish the flats in Jervis Bay quite a lot too. That comes out with white legs. So I've put motor oil legs on there, and now it's got a bit of an egg sac.
Very cool.
And the colour on this blue light screen is just not doing it justice because it's got pinks, it's got orange, and the body actually has iridescent blue in it, and it's all UV.
Right. That was the next question.
Now you're going to put me on the spot.
Well,
all right, so
see if we can get some hooks.
let me just get this up really close because these hooks, I'll tell you. What you're looking for on here should have actually taken the hooks off one of these first.
If anyone wants a recap on this, it is available on the ProLure website.
Yeah. See on the left there near the leg?
Yep.
See that little groove?
Yep.
Right to the right of the leg as you're looking at the screen?
Correct.
That's where the spigot comes out. So there's a spigot right in there. It's a stainless steel spigot. So it's just like, and we're just going to push the legs across. No, I want to take them out. So that comes down. See that?
Yeah.
And then your legs just come off.
Oh, very nice.
They're nice. And don't make me put it back on because I'm as blind as a bat. Right in the middle of that is actually an insert in the leg. So there's a precast hole in the middle of the leg. So you can wet it up there without catching my lip on camera.
Big catch of the day.
So you just put the legs back over the spigot. Make sure the spigot comes out the top of the legs. It's just the reverse of before. It goes back into the spigot and locks in there and you just push it across.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty simple.
That's so simple. And this is the genius of Peace Naguchi when it comes down to that design side of things. Right. This is where the little nuance of looking at each thing, I go, okay, how am I going to overcome this mechanical challenge and make it simple for people? Because I think humans by default are very conservative, and most people won't want to touch it because it's dead easy.
Yeah, definitely.
And you'd think, yeah, I get the leg thing. Wasn't overly sold on it, but now I'm using it. It's like 100%. For me, in the area that I fish, over crystal clear water in Jervis Bay, where I've been fishing for the last month, we get dusky flathead in Jervis Bay, bream in the shallows, whiting, mullet, all on lure, trevally, and a big salmon or a bonnie or a king will come along. For me, that kind of just accentuates the prawn over a really white sandy bottom.
Yeah.
Now, I'll give you one good pro tip, one really massive pro tip. It's huge. Before you engage the legs back in, get your favourite scent and fill that cavity full of scent.
Absolutely.
And it saves, rub it all over the lure too. But if you put a big dollop of scent in there and then it oozes out, then you just push it on the legs. That scent, particularly the ones that are a bit more viscous, that have probably more of a paraffin base, push that in under there and that just oozes out and stays in there, and it'll continue to ooze scent for, I don't even want to put a number on the cast, but it's going to stay in there for quite some time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What you've done there by changing legs, it means you can do that on the run if you want to. You could mix it up a little bit and try and find that perfect color.
Yeah. I mean, there's 9 colors in the range and each leg's different in different applications. In this application, I'm fishing over in gin clear water. I watched a flathead the other day swim from nearly 5 meters away to eat this. I skipped it across the top, sunk into about a meter of water. I was in about 2.5 meters of water and this thing broke cover.
Really?
And just swam over and nailed it. Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful.
How about you describe that cast? Like, are you skipping it away from you, or are you landing it and ripping it back, or how's that look?
Yeah, so I do a lot of beach fishing and headland fishing, and inside, like Jervis Bay is just known for, land-based game and heavy tackle. Like, it's, man, we've got so much amazing countries like Kiribati in some places where you can be just walking along the beach. Bay and Basin Sport Fishing is my Instagram handle. I actually just put a clip up on it the other day. Yeah, so I'm casting out to a weed edge, which is 25 meters off the shore. Before the lure hits the water, I'm clicking over the bailer. This will walk the dog across the top, but I'm actually going back to a bit of old school fish it like a popper. The rod tip up, wind about 1 or 2 meters across the top and then let it sink. That's when you get the bite. What I'm trying to do is make it come out of the weed and land right on the edge of the weed for that application.
Yeah. Most of your hits are going to just be on that drop.
Yes. Or let it hit the bottom and then a little tick up. You and I are big fans of Scotto James Messiahs.
Yep.
So I'm fishing 3-pound braid with 6-pound leader on a 9'6" Scotto.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gold. It's so much fun.
Land based, but also that extra rod length, just being able to lift that lure when you need to, is so good.
Oh, yeah, and put some hurt on a big fish too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't go down that track tonight. The advantages are just massive.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm going fishing off a boat this week. If I'm in a skinny creek and I'm fishing for bass underneath cover, I'm not going to use the 9'6" long rod, but whenever I want distance, or I'm fishing in open structure where I can get a cast into, stocking power is phenomenal. The distance, yeah, is key. No one does it.
Yeah, right.
Everyone's just fixated on heavy tackle and boats. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah. How about we run through the color range? You've got 9 in the range.
9 in the range. Have you got a colour chart?
I've got one in front of me.
Can you magically make it appear on the screen?
Well, maybe.
So yes, 9 colours. I did have 9 in front of me. Some of them went missing.
All right. I think we've
that.
taken our head off the screen
Magic.
and we've got prawns. How good's that?
Yeah. Wow.
Tell us about white tiger.
White tiger's a bit of a northern based, sort of that cherub feel. You'd be surprised how far north bream are found right around the country. Not a lot of people fish for bream up north, but I can see this application being really good for bonefish.
Okay.
Yeah, fishing flats for bonefish up north. But I mean, they still get amazing fish. Should do a podcast sometime on the fishery in Bundaberg where they're catching crocodile-sized flathead and 50 metres away is the school of barramundi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably the northernmost. The white tiger's probably the odd man out there in that sense.
Sure.
It's just got a tiny bit of blue on the top of the toe. They've all got you.
Okay.
And the rest of them, I don't know, mate, you can kind of make it up. Well, the pink on the candy shrimp is not, it doesn't really pop on our screen because of the white light. It's actually really quite vividly pink.
Really? But what?
You got to have pink.
Okay. Have you?
It's such a good old school. I think a lot of the new school have forgotten how deadly pink is, but certainly in the southern estuaries from Sydney south and the basin particularly.
Remember back in the day, people like the flathead fishermen's like, it's got to be pink.
Pink, but the rest of them are all just variations on, they're enhancements, with the exception of probably, olive and an olive tiger to an exception. they're enhancements of a prawn's natural attributes. Color-wise, in some way that's going to represent what you're going to find in an estuary. Like the lighter colors, particularly pearl shrimp and pink nipper, are potentially a prawn that's fresh, or it's been sitting over clear water, as opposed to living in the weed. And there's 14 different species of prawns in St George's Basin.
Really?
I'd done some work at trawl surveys with fisheries back in the day.
Wow.
Documenting the basin. So there's many different species of prawns.
Yeah. When I look at that range, the ones that speak to me straight off is probably the pink nipper and the green tiger.
All right.
Which if I was only picking two, that's probably what I would have picked.
Spoke to Glenn Sheriff this morning. That was his first. Olive tiger he was going to tie.
Right.
But yeah, look, for me, my go-to in the clone prawn is definitely the green tiger.
Yeah.
With that orange egg sac in the head.
Yeah.
That's definitely my go-to. That's where I'll start most of the time.
Okay.
But the reality is it's a prawn, and if you throw it in the water and it's got a bit of scent and those legs articulate, most species are going to find it pretty irresistible to knock back.
Now, we spoke leading into this, so we're kind of doubling back a little bit. Now, this prawn has been a long time in the making, like been on the books, and I knew there was something coming, but
I wish we could make them here. Yeah.
So, maybe a good place to start is this latest production or this run now. How long ago did you get those to have a cast around? What sort of result?
Oh, the first prototype got to play with was July last year.
Yeah.
And we put that out before the after show July last year, because we worked on a couple of lures prior in the past where we'd done nearly 2 years worth of work, and someone's just gone to after, and they've, a lot of lure fishermen think alike, and someone had done one.
Right. Out.
I said to Heath, we got to put this out now. Let's hope that we can get this done within the next couple of months. And because of the complexity of it, it's just taken so long.
Yeah.
So, July last year, we did a soft launch, just an announcement of it, put it out as a single image. Didn't have any color on it.
Yeah.
It's been that long to actually get here and get finished, particularly with the leg side of things, because every single one of these, it's not like we go to Alibaba and pull a lure off the shelf and import it. Everything's designed from the ground up.
Yeah.
So just trying to get the legs with that insert in the legs, you've got to make a mold that's got an insert running up the middle of the leg so you can put it straight over the spigot.
Yeah.
Like that. The intricate side of that just takes time, and then you've got to have a certain mold to mold that lead weight.
Yeah.
So all these parts have to be produced and then hopefully put in the right place, in the right weight, and then hopefully thrown in the water with the right density. There's so many variables on this, and just looking at the middle treble, do you have the wire that's in the middle of the treble facing forward, or do you have it facing across the prawn?
Yes.
That takes weeks of decision making just to run different diagrams, sketches, or CAD now.
Yeah.
Actually get that down pat.
100%.
So every single little aspect that you look at here, it's just, what sort of eyes, what sort of, colours in the eyes? Do you do it like the original clone prawn with the serrated edge on the top? If you had a factory down the road, you could just go and 3D print something and do a mock-up mould, send it back, test it. It takes you a week or something like that. Each time, I think it was 9 prototypes or something like that came back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, I'm pretty sure it was 9.
Do you have any stories about a prototype testing in terms of catching fish, or any standouts for you?
The fact it works is just a standout.
Yeah.
The standout for me was just the other day in Jervis Bay.
Okay.
The fact that we got a fully fledged, full colour range, go and play with the whole colour range, select something out of the colour range, because you've got the whole colour range and not something that's white or not something that's clear. Like the first prototypes that come out are clear.
Sure.
So you kind of got to texture them up or do a bit of a paint job on them. But the satisfaction came last week to watch a fully fledged, let's go to market, one that I've chosen out of the box, out of the whole range, and then watch a fish swim from, around 4 or 5 metres away to come and eat it.
Come and belt it.
It was about a high 60s flathead and 2 metres of gin clear water in Jervis Bay.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I know that our good mate Luke Kay, he had a couple of them, and he's been raving about them for about 12 months.
Yeah, they did the first prototype testing on the Central Coast. It would have been 12 months ago.
Yeah.
It was just a bit after that first soft launch.
Yes.
That we actually got some clear ones to start with.
Yeah.
And then a few colours started to come through. You don't get all the colours at once.
Yeah, no, he's been telling me for about 12 months, you've got to get your hands on these. So that day is here.
Yes.
So yeah,
it is. And tomorrow, well, from tomorrow, the shipping from tomorrow morning.
Yep.
So I expect some will have them in stores tomorrow afternoon.
Yep.
Never trust a courier, with all due respect to the couriers out there. But it'll start to fill in from Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay. And that's stocks of both prawn itself plus spare parts?
Prawns plus the legs.
Now, one thing we didn't really get into is, so you're rigging it from the back. Have you turned it around and rigged it the other way?
Yes.
And
yeah, it's not as well balanced.
Sure.
It will tend to sink a little bit tail first, which if you got your game down pat and you're on a tight line, is there a massive difference? Look, at the end of the day, if a fish has seen a prawn just dropping through the water, the fish is going to eat.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, you're right. It will sort of sink tail first, but then you can, take the front treble off and then just rig it with one treble, and then we'll come back to sinking more level.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so there's a bunch of things you can do, not just with the colour, but
there's a bunch of stuff in this lure. Yeah. It's a multi. It's like probably having really half a dozen lures in one box.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I haven't fished them. We haven't fished them with stinger hooks.
Yeah. I was gonna. I thought about that.
No, I haven't even got to that yet. Yeah.
Yeah, or even
someone's going to do it.
Even just W's in the
we all like to tinker.
Will work pretty well too, I reckon. That'd be weedless as.
Yeah, we all like to tinker. It's just been such a lot. This is really sort of the pinnacle. Well, it's one of the pinnacles. Now, it's a very satisfying thing, given you're right there before the market is now saturated. I think we were really lucky, and I think I don't think I'm too far off the mark to say that the current saturation in the market of prawns was primarily due to the success of the Clone Prawn.
Maybe it was. I remember it was a big open.
And there's a combination of, if you look at it from a tackle junkie's perspective and maybe a historical perspective, it's not the first prawn. It wasn't the first prawn to hit the market. It's arguably one of the most lifelike to ever hit the market.
Yeah.
But there was a real gap in that space there, and there had been for a number of years, a couple of years.
Yes.
And then I think that the timing of the launch of this, in conjunction with it being so lifelike and just such a deadly lure to fish, means that we ran away with it for a bit. And it helped to propel our brand and get our brand into tackle boxes just right around the country, because, you look at a 120 and the guys up north are fishing barra for those.
Right.
Barra and jacks and toga, and just, once again, everything eats a prawn.
That's right.
So we kind of had that space to ourselves for a while, and then we've seen a whole bunch of different brands just all pile in and every man his dog's got one now.
That's right. And I mean, the interesting thing is, like, we always want to get your stuff to market early, but the timing, this is quite good. You're coming into grand finals for all the Bream comps. It'll be interesting to see what part this plays in it, because it wouldn't be the first lure to come on and just win a lot of comps.
Sounds like the little black crankbait did back in the day, and that's where we kicked it all off.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a massive push to get it done for this spring.
Sure.
It was like, I can't tell you, I can't swear.
That's I can cut it out.
Yeah. It's like we have like, this has been going on for so long. It's just like we need to get it done for this summer.
Yeah, which I think is a great time. It's like, if you're going to fish it on service and let it drop, like, we're just coming into that time of year where that's perfect.
Yeah, and we didn't want to miss that season as much as, look, it's great to get it out there and from a business, you look at it from a business perspective that, we've got mouths to feed and we need to get this rolling, but it's also, we kind of, in a way, we're not driven by money.
Sure.
We're not like with all due respects, we're not like the big corporates.
Yeah.
We're making stuff by anglers for anglers. So we're generally wanting to make lures that really do the job. And we really want to just get these in the hands of crew right around the country. So for this time of year,
Yeah.
particularly for the southern, particularly for these southern estuaries, for this smaller model, this will also come out in a 90 odd 92 model.
Okay.
If I say 3 months, if we get it done in 2 years, it'd be good.
Sure. Okay. Hey, but for us Bream guys, we're pretty happy with it. With what is it, a 58? Did you say?
58. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a weapon.
Yeah. I can't wait to I can't wait to have a cast, have a look and see how it goes.
Yeah. It's, and at the end of the day, it's a fun lure to fish because it just builds on that success of the 62 mil prawn as we were talking about. It's just got that extra weight. So you can cover more ground.
Yeah. Okay.
You got more distance. You're still going to be able to, your short game's no worries at all. You're still going to be able to throw it in around pontoons, etc. And probably with a bit more accuracy because it's got, I don't know about you, but I like a lure with a little bit more weight on it. I find I can get better accuracy, particularly on the short game, on the short casting into structure.
Yeah, that's right. And that'll pair nicely with the little black crank.
Yeah.
So,
and from a lure maker's point of view, I hope all the tournament fishing guys go and fish rock walls on the Hawkesbury and lose 40 of them in a tournament.
well, it's sad when you lose a fish, but it's kind of fun too. So
yeah.
No, but all right. I think we might leave it there. Like in the next couple of days, we're going to see these hit the shelves. So by the time this goes to air and people get a chance to have a look at it, people should be able to walk into their local pro lure shop and pick these up, I'd imagine.
Yes. Yep. They're going to be right around the country on all really good independent tackle stores and BCFs.
Mm-hmm.
And from Heath and I as well, like we just really like to thank everyone who's actually supported the brand over the years because this has started from scratch. It started with one little crankbait,
Mm-hmm.
that one little black crankbait back in the day around about 2011, 2012. Came in at that time when the Suji shrimp chubby just ruled the roost. And in fact, everyone calls a little crankbait now a chubby because everybody used a chubby for bream. Yeah. And, you should have one in your kit. If you don't have a Suji shrimp chubby in your kit, you're bad because they're a good, but they're different. And we came along and we had that success and we established ourselves there and it's just grown ever since. And so we can't thank people enough for supporting an Aussie brand who's having a go.
Exactly.
I think we're going okay
and making a difference. Like you've seen the brand evolve over a few years from everything from new lures to total rebranding, which I think has made a massive difference.
Yeah.
So,
and if anyone's got any suggestions on what you want to see in your kit, what are we going to do next? I mean, obviously, we've got a list that's probably going to last us 10 years at the moment to overgo. But like, if anyone's got any suggestions, you think, I really need this in my kit. What are you going to do? Reach out to us through our socials.
Yeah. Okay.
We pride ourselves on the fact that we're connected with anglers right around the country at the coalface, and that's where we get most of our feedback and a lot of our design inspiration from as well.
Yeah. Perfect. All right.
But thank you. I really, really appreciate the time tonight.
Yeah,
mate.
no, thank you for coming on and sharing. I'm gonna punch this out just so you know and other people know. So it'll be the first video podcast that I'm going to release, which will be up on YouTube, and we'll also release it as an audio, which will you're going to be better off looking at it on YouTube, which will be better. So, but yeah, mate, appreciate you.
Some would say I've got a head for radio, but that's all right,
mate. I've got a good head for radio too, mate. All right, mate.
It's cool, mate.
Really appreciate your time, and we will have to hit Heath up and do a proper a proper pro lure story, because I think there's a
Yeah, we'll get him here. Yeah, we're just kids and busy lives and that sort of stuff. So he's
100%. All right, Greg, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again.
okay. Adios.
Thanks for listening. Hopefully you were informed, inspired, and entertained. If you were able to learn something or just enjoyed listening, please consider subscribing and rate us on your favourite podcasting platform.